come and sit if you wish. Welcome everybody here this morning for this great announcement. Last year we said Broadway is back, and it was. We had a very good year this year. We're going to have a better year next year, one of the best years ever. And Lynn is going to be up here shortly to introduce next year's shows, but for the moment I'd like to recognize our community outreach and engagement. We're very proud of that here at PPAC. We basically have an art showcase program where we bring middle school children into this, PPAC for a Broadway entertainment. We have Experience PPAC, where we bring every 10th grader in the state to a Broadway show. We bring Disney's programs into elementary schools. We have art scholarships for summer programs. We have Next Stop Broadway, which is our summer camp. We have Ocean Star Awards, which is celebrating high school Broadway shows. Seats for Servicemen, free Wurlitzer concerts, sensory-friendly performances. We have 14 different outreach programs. With this year, we have committed over $1 million from PPAC to support these programs for the community. Thank you. And those programs have connected with over 40,000 individuals, either in person or virtually, to PPAC and to the performing arts. We're very proud of that, and we thank our annual fund donors, our Textron Charitable Foundation, the Robert Soyko First Fed Foundation, and we'd like to acknowledge the passing of Robert Styko, who has been a supporter of PPAC for many years and has benefited many students in Rhode Island through their support. I'd like to acknowledge the board of directors of PPAC who volunteer their time and spend many hours supporting this there. So let's have a hand. Would everybody on the board please raise their hand, recognize people on the board. I'd like to acknowledge the staff. Our success doesn't happen by accidents because we probably have the best staff in the country. Alan, Judy, PJ, Stephanie, Amanda, Janice, Ricky, Dana, Claudia, Anthony, and Zach, our senior staff. Let's hear it for the senior staff at PPAC. They do a great job. There's Stephanie in the corner. All under the leadership of our president and CEO, who's going to announce next year's Lynn Singleton. Let's hear it for her.
So good morning. PJ last night was having a heart attack. Will anybody come? I go, well, free food and booze in the morning lounge. It kind of worked. Bloody Marys weren't included. Morning, Devin. First of all, these things, these announcements are like controlled crash landings, in that you got to. This time of year, we're doing what we're doing, but as I used to tell my mother when she asked me what I do for a living, we live in the future tense. And so while we're doing what we're doing, we're preparing for next year, and it all comes together. And it not only all comes together here, it all comes together every place in the country at the same time. And it's a real mess. So the burden of that falls on our marketing staff, PJ and Caitlin. I wrote these names down so I wouldn't forget. Sophie, Matt, Sharon, Paul, Ellie, and I apologize for anybody I didn't mention. And then while we're doing that simultaneously, the box office is running around like little elves with Santa, kind of putting all the ticket things in place. So today you can actually get online and buy a subscription. And we are a very unique building. To my knowledge, we are the only building in New England that when you call the building with a ticket problem, and we have very few of them, we hope, or a subscription question, you call this building. And that's very important to our success, because in my philosophy, our philosophy is, in a high-tech world, people really like low-tech, and they want to talk to somebody. So having said that, as I was looking this morning at our brochure, I was thinking, Chris Marcellus at track 15, we should have charged him an ad for the front page of the train station. By the way, I went last night, and it's excellent. I forget how big the Old Capitol Grill and what was the other place that they took. I mean, it's just a massive location and a lot of good food. So first, I'd like to thank our sponsors, which is our main series sponsor, the White Family Foundation and TACO, and they've been supporters of this Broadway series for as many years as I can remember. Also beyond that is Pat Holey, who's here from WPRI 12, Cox Media, Navigate Credit Union, Bank Newport, ABC, and now 93.3 FM. As noted, a number of our shows in the season have storylines where the lead characters go on a great adventure to a new destination and a new state of mind. So we hope you'll be prepared to be transported by that. So, in a way of announcements, the main series, which is the TACO White Family Foundation Broadway series, we open the fall with Harry Potter and the Cursed Child in September through early October. Now, there's a backstory for this, and I'll provide a little ego. Harry Potter, after 9 years in New York, you may or may not remember, you had to go see the show in two segments. So you went for 3 hours in the afternoon and 3 hours at night. So it was a journey, lots of wine. After COVID, they reimagined the show, and so now you can go see it in one act. And then, of course, when that happened, then we can tour. So the tour opened this December in Chicago, then went to Los Angeles, and this is the first national company. God knows how many trucks it is. It's probably 30 trucks. Chicago, Los Angeles, and then Washington, D.C. And then they're going to make a turn northward, and Providence, Rhode Island will be the location for 18 performances of Harry Potter right after those three major markets. We will be the first market north of New York to play a Harry Potter. It will be a forest fire. And I recommend and I think, not knowing because I wasn't one of those people who had a kid that lined up at midnight, and those kids now are probably 30 or 40 years old, to get the books. I think it will introduce a whole new audience to this building. And I think the demand for subscription prices, I don't know if it'll be Hamilton-esque, but it's going to be a lot of demand. Beyond them being here for 18 performances, which is a little over 2 weeks, they are going to actually come in and tech out and kind of reposition the show to perform in houses that aren't, they probably played in Chicago 20 or 24 weeks. The other backstory to this, about 3 months ago, Janice Anderson, who is she's the dog that goes out and chases all these shows, and it comes to me and I go, yes, no, maybe. She comes in and says, Harry Potter is going to play Providence after it plays these three major markets. And I go, that's nonsense. That's never going to happen. Because, she goes, why? Because if I was running a building in Boston, I'd kill that in a heartbeat. I mean, but sure enough, she kept on it like a dog with a bone. And Harry Potter's opening their tour here. And I mean to tell you, it is going to be enormous. And we're hopeful, even though hope is not a strategy. I would expect it will bump our subscription base, which is presently about 13,000 plus, probably another 3,000 to 4,000. Once again, I don't know if it'll be Hamilton-esque, but it's gonna. And what happens with that is all boats rise with the tide, and the tide that's going to rise Going forward, in December we have Water for Elephants. In January, Stuffs. Wicked is returning after 10 years. In March, for 3 weeks. The Outsiders, which many of you, and some of you don't, was a movie, a very famous movie with Kevin Bacon, Tom Cruise, et cetera, and doing huge business in New York, and won the Tony for Best Musical last year. Kimberly Akimbo, which is a 5-time Tony Award nominee and won Best Musical the previous year. And that, as far as I can see, is the main series, which consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shows in that series. Bravo. Now, according to my notes, we have a PowerPoint slide of our 3 sponsors for the Encore series, which is a show, generally commercially, that we bring back after they performed here. Best example this year would be Neil Diamond's Beautiful Noise, probably MJ, et cetera, which is somewhere in the pipeline, probably not this coming year, but the following year, because we generally leave a year in between. And the Encore series will be 6, which is the story of Henry VIII's 6 wives, and that will be sponsored by Navigate Credit Union. Hadestown, which also pre-COVID, I think, won the Best Musical Award, is here for a weekend in November. And then Clue, which is brand new to Providence, which has toured all of our other facilities, will be here in January. Then, at the end of May, we bring back 2-week engagement of Lion King, which is 16 performances, and Lion King has not been here in 9 years. And then Bank Newport is sponsoring their family nights for Clue and Lion King. Just as I mentioned, that's about 120 Broadway shows for next season, which is probably around a 20% increase, because this year, with the exception of Hamilton, which was 2 weeks, which has an interesting backstory, because I kept saying it's too soon, and I'm not as brilliant as my mother thought I was, because it came in and sold 98% of the house in 2 weeks in December, and just was like a forest fire. The commercial theater business has never been better in this building, which is very good for us because we depend on most of our revenue for commercial theater, so we can fund the nice family, the nice community action programs that Joe referred to earlier. Presently, not that will end, our specials are, they're in the brochure, I'm sure. Joe Coy, Louis C.K., and under people that I really didn't know were touring yet, America at the same time. And then we're bringing back, after a couple of years, a couple of years, the Boston Pops with conductor Keith Lockhart will return for the holiday concert, and I believe this is a Saturday night, December 13th, and it will ultimately sell out, as it always does. And then we're bringing in Cirque Holidays, which is a Cirque show, which we do every 2 or 3 years, for 2 or 3 performances in late December. So now at this point, I will quit talking and let you enjoy the video.
Hi, I'm John Hazen White Jr. On behalf of myself and the Takeo and White Family Foundation, I'd like to welcome you to the 2025-2026 Broadway series at the Providence Performing Arts Center. This is the 17th year that we've sponsored the Broadway series. We're looking forward to sharing each show's unique story throughout this upcoming season of PPAC. As a Rhode Island business owner and lover of the arts, I feel so blessed to be able to give back and uplift the community by supporting the arts. A vibrant arts community, including performances at PPAC, provides families with the opportunity to enrich their lives. So, enjoy the season.
We will always live when you three are together.
Hogwarts will be the making of you, Albus. I promise you there is nothing to be frightened of there. You're Albus Potter, and I'm Scorpius Malfoy. Our parents didn't get on.
You do not want to do this.
Yes, I do.
Excellent!
I'm nothing like my dad. You're better. You're my best friend, Albus.
A mistake has been made. We're going to use a time turner to save Cedric Diggory. Our journey has only just begun.
Providence? Is that you? Hold on. I'm just hearing that the magic is arriving this fall. I'm Emmett Smith, and I play Albus Potter in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which is coming to the Providence Performing Arts Center as part of your 25-26 Broadway season for 19 performances. Visit ppacri.org to learn more and subscribe, and get ready for epic magic and an unforgettable adventure. We'll see you at the theater soon.
Stepped out into the bright sunlight from the darkness of the movie house. I had only two things on my mind: Paul Newman and a ride home.
And I play Aunt Deborah in Kimberly Akimbo, which is journeying to Providence, Rhode Island, May 5th through the 10th, 2026. Kimberly Akimbo is a part of the TACO and the White Family Foundation Broadway series. It is a positive, funny, quirky, moving story that won 5 Tony Awards. So you gotta come visit us on our great adventure in Kimberly Akimbo. See you soon!
world could be, in spite of the way that it is. And Eurydice was a young girl, but she'd seen how the world was. When she fell in spite of herself, in love. Just how far would you go for her?
Hey Providence, my name is Nicholas Cologne and I'm playing Hades on the national tour of Hadestown. And I'm here to let you know that we're heading your way November 7th through the 9th. Hadestown, the Tony and Grammy award-winning show, is heading to PPAC. So, what are you waiting for? Get your tickets and we'll see you in the underground.
Let the game begin.
A candlestick? What's this for?
A wrench.
A lead pipe? A dagger?
A revolver.
Ah! A snake! Oh no, it's a rope.
It's all part of the game.
Hi everyone, I'm Keith Lockhart, the conductor of the Boston Pops. We're thrilled to journey back to the Providence Performing Arts Center on Saturday, December 13th to perform our Holiday Pops concert. We are joined once again by the wonderful Metropolitan Chorale and of course, a visit from Santa Claus. We can't wait to celebrate the holidays with you and your family this year. Tickets will be on sale at a date to be announced.
first of all, let me give a personal shout out to John Hazen White. John, as most of you know, is in the manufacturing business. They make, and I don't want to denigrate or boost his business, but I think they make some plumbing heating valve that's it's in every heating place, furnace in the world, or in America at least. And so people will say, who is this Taco when I'm in New York that's your sponsor? I go, well, so I kind of tell them what they is in brief terms, and they go, why would somebody in like the manufacturing business, sponsor a Broadway series? And I go, well, it's Providence. We know a guy. And John's been doing this a long time, 17 years, God bless him. The other thing, and this might be, I encourage this if you want to have an interesting thrill, and Joe referred to this, we do this experienced PPAC at least 3 times a year, where we invite high school sophomores, and I'm sure many of you remember being a high school sophomore, and so we bring them at our expense, and we even bus them in at our expense, because buses have become a barrier to get kids here. So last year, I think it was last year, not this year, we did as experienced PPAC 6. And it's 78 minutes long, and it's really a rock show, and glamour glitz, it's kind of Boy George meets Duran Duran. And and the performances are usually at 10, 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. So one morning I'm walking in 10:30, and there's nobody outside, and because what happened, it was a day of experienced PPAC, so what happens is the buses come and load these kids off, and they go and be, sit in their seats thinking, why are we here? So I walk in, and I hear a screams like somebody fell off the grid, which is 80 or 90 feet tall in the main house. So I run to the door, and I open up the door, and there were 3,000 screaming teenagers. You would thought I was at a Taylor Swift concert. And the cast, who, I don't say hates to do these kind of performances, oh yeah, we got to do that, because it's usually the senior citizens during the week, or it's a corporate event, et cetera, so that, it's early, and they don't go to bed at midnight. So, the perform, not only was the audience like electrified, the cast was electrified. It was the most amazing thing I ever see. And I think Janice rebooked that this year. So if you want a thrill, just come and stand in the back and watch it happen. Last but certainly not least, our gala this year is Wicked. And it's on Saturday night, March 21st, so you got plenty of time to call Steffi and get your tickets. And Wicked is right now on fire everywhere in New York, because of the reason we all know. Part 1 of the movie was a smash, and Part 2 comes out in December. And in many cases, movies do not help a Broadway show. I can list a list a mile long, Chorus Line, Annie, et cetera, et cetera. The only example I can think in recent memory was Chicago, I think, which won the Oscar. But obviously, Wicked has helped. We haven't used it as a gala since 2007, so that was a long time ago. And given that the second movie will be a big hit too, as we all know, the first one was, it will be a great evening. Last but not least, under All History is Biography, 2 falls ago, we opened the national tour of Funny Girl, and candidly, we're in the commercial theater business, and one of the reasons they wanted to open here was of our tax credit, which allows us to open shows, and they receive a tax credit for local expenses, mostly labor. And Sonia Friedman, which if you read the New York Times last week, is right now considered the most powerful producer in the world from England, and the producer of Harry Potter, came to Providence, and she'd never been here. She thought we were in Long Island, which happens to be all the time, and loved Providence. I thought she was going to buy the place because it's September, late September, so it was Chamber of Commerce weather. And of course, I assured her it's always like this here. So she loved Providence, and once again, All History is Biography. So Sonia, our little lady friend from the producer from London, She's also the producer of Harry Potter. And so that was one of the reasons Harry Potter landed here, because she loved it so much and everybody showed her such a good time.